What? Yes, I got done eating Taco Bell. Do you mind?
The parking lot. They say an armed bystander.
That's so cool.
Sit down.
Hello, welcome to Infohell. It's me, Laverne Mordred. Before I jump into the subjects, which the subject is, Kevin Hart is in trouble right now again for something, for some stupid tweet. I know it's retarded. The SJWs are throwing a hissy fit. Chinese interference with our technology, that's one also. And the FBI and the CIA's coming across with more interference with China, which made my prediction kind of right. Diving into the word called nationalism, which the mainstream media likes to highly exaggerate the definition meaning of, and the Trump-hating media with their BS and their propaganda machines, of course, running their mouth and basically shooting out lies out their ass. First, before we go into those stories, let's look at my fans' comments, and especially how much I just love reading those comments. Yes, I will definitely bitch slap you. I would like to see you try, bitch! Ha 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 ha, faggot, ha 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 ha, really? Sweetheart, you haven't seen faggot yet, sugar pie. Hey, let's get right on the news, you pieces of shit. Okay then. In news, entertainment news today, of course, the SJWs and political correctness BS crowd of Hollywood had to rear their ugly head in Hollywood, and Kevin Hart was going to go to be the host of the Academy Awards. We don't know yet if he's going to or not, or make an apology over a tweet that happened about 8 years ago. Get over it! My God. But, I mean, it's insane. It's insane. It's a joke. I'm fucking bisexual. This isn't... I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just a joke. Get over it. So we have to repass time to all the Mel Brooks movies and try to redo the wrongs from a long time ago. Oh, come on, you progressives. Really? Guardian posted this up that 8 years ago, Kevin Hart said something offensive. Comedy is supposed to be offensive. It's taking something offensive and making it comical and funny. I mean, really? Why is it these progressive SJWs in Hollywood are destroying comedy? And people who take offense to it, oh well then, but people have to realize it's supposed to be comedy, it's supposed to be making fun of something. It's not supposed to be serious. But oh well, I digress. Huawei is in the news today not because of their technology, their iPhones, their iPads, and computers. They have been in a controversial, basically, security breach on recently of the USA with the FBI, CIA, and the Chinese government might be involved with the company Huawei and also CTE. But of course, Huawei and CTE are denying they're even involved with the Chinese government. But of course, the Chinese government is basically involved with everybody else's life, especially with socialized, social credit that they're having recently, and especially how they control their citizens. So it wouldn't surprise me if the government over there does that. And it might be a security breach. A lot of European countries, even even Australia and New Zealand, are rejecting a lot of these technologies because of security breaches and issues that we might be having. So that could be a possibility that Chinese government might be trying to tap into our FBI agency, and could be an issue long down the future. Even Mark Rubio, the Republican, also mentioned about CTEs and these Chinese companies might be interfering with our government and these Chinese technologies. So it could be a possibility. Even Chris Van Horn, who's a Democrat, who actually made comments about this situation as well, and even the great concern about our security and our intelligence agency in the United States. It's very rare these days that you have any Democrats and Republicans would actually agree on something, especially with the political climate today. It gets even weirder than that. The CFO of Huawei, which is the daughter of the founder of this company, has been arrested in Canada for a security breach, which is boxing more questions, not enough answers, and we don't know what she's been arrested for yet until all the news will come out. Which, to me, I think Chinese interference might be a possibility, a threat against our United States, of our country, and especially Europe and other countries as well. But of course, at the same time, Trump was used to have a Chinese trade deal between the U.S. and China, which probably ended pretty badly. Found out later on that basically Trump is pulling out of the trade deal as we speak. So there's no weird coincidence behind it also. It's to my final story, and I know it's kind of old news. The word nationalism, which Donald Trump has used so many times before in the past, and the mainstream media took it like, oh, he's a neo-Nazi, oh, he's a white supremacist, and they try to label the man in the wrong kind of light. But, not every socialist is a Nazi, and not every nationalist is a Nazi. I mean, you look through history, there's been nationalist nations, they weren't not even dictatorships, that they took their nation first. Let's get on to what he said.
And I told all of the European nations it's not fair. We have all these horrible trade imbalances. They take such advantage, they're not taking advantage anymore, folks. Under Republican leadership, America is winning again. America is respected again because we are putting America first. We're putting America first. It hasn't happened in a lot of decades. We're putting them first. We're taking care of ourselves for a change, folks. Thank you. I like that guy, but not that much. Not that much. But radical Democrats want to turn back the clock. Or the rule of corrupt, power-hungry globalists. You know what a globalist is, right? You know what a globalist is. A globalist is a person that wants the globe to do well, frankly, not caring about our country so much. And you know what? We can't have that. They have a word. It sort of became old-fashioned. It's called a nationalist. And I say, really, we're not supposed to use that word. You know what I am? I'm a nationalist, okay? I'm a nationalist. Nationalist. Nothing else. Use that word. Use that word.
Okay, let's look at the dictionary definition of nationalism. That basically is saying that, you take your country first and you take nationalist ideas and nationalist party to take your country first before anything else. There's nothing wrong with nationalism. And think about it, if you had a family, if you had kids, you would take your kids, you take your family, you take your wife first over anything else in the world. That you're willing to spend time with your kids before you spend time with your friends. There's nothing, people claim it might be a bit, selfish, but it's not really selfish. You're looking for your best interests for your own country, for your own people. There's nothing wrong with nationalism. Nationalism is not necessarily a bad thing. But if you're talking about white nationalism or race nationalism or black nationalism, yes, that's bad. That's horrible. Racism, nationalism with it is disgusting. But American nationalism, you look through history. You look at the French, look at the French and their history. They're pretty nationalist. You look at the founding fathers of 1776 who built this country. They were nationalist. 1776. There you go. I've got a tattoo of George Washington right there. I mean, you look at other cultures, you look at you look at England. Look at England's, history. They were pretty nationalist. I mean, the word nationalist means basically, I want to be patriotic and love my country and take my country first without getting ass raped by Europe or by some other country by trade deals and getting screwed over. Would I consider Trump a nationalist? Not necessarily, especially with, he was going to make a deal with China, and unfortunately he's not. He's pulling out of it, thank God. And he's basically, the Saudi Arabia's little, that issue with Saudi Arabia and how that is. And to me, there's a lot of aspects about him I like. I do support him as President of the United States, and I voted for him. But to me, do I consider him nationalist? Not necessarily, because the Saudi Arabia thing, I've talked about the whole thing about the journalism who got killed over there, that situation over there. But nationalism doesn't mean anything negative. And there's some bad aspects of nationalism, which is arrogance, cockiness, and just being too prideful. And you don't want to be too prideful, because when you fall hard. And you make yourself look like a joke when you actually fall hard. So nationalism is necessarily a bad idea. There's people who are Jewish nationalists, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm Jewish. I'm a quarter Israeli. I think there's people who are Israeli nationalists. There's people who they support their country and they want their country to do better. There's nothing wrong with nationalism at all. And yes, the German Nazi Party were also nationalists, but also they were socialist. And this is what I hate about the mainstream media wants to portray the Trump administration. They want to, or anybody who's conservative, right-leaning, or nationalist, they want to label them as Nazis. But you have to realize they were nationalist socialists. The American public, who are the conservatives, don't want any form of socialism because it's control of the individual person. That's the whole point. So we're not even close to fascism at all. You look at Trump. And if he's such a white supremacist, if he's such a supposed Nazi, my question is, why he's close friends with the Prime Minister of Israel, a country full of Jews? And if he's that's one thing I hate about the mainstream media. They like to paint anybody they disagree with as the worst thing ever. And Bush Senior has died. They used to run his mouth against him so much. They were calling him a fascist as well. And it's nothing but crocodile tears, because they just want more money in their pocket. Well, they want more controversy, and they want to have more drama. And they're completely unprideful. They are against nationalism, and they're not patriots. And that's the funny thing, is that Donald Trump, he's signed in law the Second Chance Act, giving chances for people who are nonviolent criminals who have felony charges to basically get that nonviolent crime events off of their records, so they can actually have a job, they can actually have a career, and not get discriminated against because of their past. Donald Trump is putting laws in to actually help out the American people for betterment of the world. And not only that, I mean, you look at he signed this through Congress. You look at all the Democrats, they voted against it out of spite. Do you really think the Democrats and the supposed liberals, or I call them the leftists, they're no longer liberals anymore by this point, do you really think they care about the American people? Do you really think they care about the American people first? No, they don't. At all. They voted against it. And the only person who didn't vote against it was Bernie Sanders. Isn't that ironic? Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. That's the thing is, that I support Donald Trump on the things that he actually does. And I'm not a Trump cheerleader. There's a few times I criticize the President of the United States. So, hey, you guys have a fantastic day. God bless America. You guys have a fantastic one. And you know what? I'll talk to you on the other side next video. And like and subscribe and leave a comment. Please, keep on hating. I love it. Bye.